Good evening, everyone, and welcome to PBN Today, our talk show for Play Bigger Now 2017. I'm Wendy Y. Bailey, your Income Acceleration Mentor, and I'm your conference host for Play Bigger Now 2017. It occurred to me with all of the information coming out and all of the tragedy that's happening in the Houston area that it would be important for me. I would be remiss if I did not mention Houston and ask you to extend prayers to the people of Houston. We have 3 presenters that are part of Play Bigger Now, and we want to just send our prayers and best wishes to you and your family, Janae Clark, Angel Santos, Tisha Jenkins. We're thinking about you and hoping all is well. I've seen some reports that you're doing pretty well, but there's family there, you have friends there, and it is your city, and we're praying for you.
Yeah.
And now I'm going to get us started officially. Hello, everyone, and welcome again to PBN 2017 Today. This is our talk show for Play Bigger Now 2017. I'm your host, Wendy Y. Bailey, your Income Acceleration Mentor and conference host for Play Bigger Now 2017. Welcome this evening. I want to welcome our guest for the next several minutes. I'm going to start with Bernadette Harris. Hello, Bernadette. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you.
Awesome. Glad to have you here. Louise Crooks. Hello and welcome.
Hi. Good to be here.
Awesome. And Sean DeRoe. Hello, mister. How are you?
Wendy Y. Bailey and the others. How you doing? It's good to be here.
Hi.
Awesome. Glad to have you guys here. You know, we're here to really have a lot of fun and talk about who you are, sort of how you got started in business in a really fun way. I love that we have some questions that have been developed for us by one of our content crashers. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge Estelle Gibson for supporting me and coming up with these fun questions. And what I want to do is, starting with you, Louise, I want to talk to you about how you got started in business.
Okay.
Tell us about how you got started. Yeah.
Ooh, I'm on the spot. Okay, let me get started here.
Like you knew I was coming to you, right? Like
yeah. Well, I kind of fell into it, but it was a very natural moment in time. I had been on my own spiritual and self-growth journey for about 5 years at that point. This was in 2005. So I was, growing and open to learning, and my sister-in-law, who was on a similar path to me, invited me to a weekend event. And so I went with her and her husband and friend and signed up for a coaching package when I was there. I had never heard of coaching before, but I signed up sort of with blind faith. And it was really an amazing thing. I realized, when I was being coached, that it was a wonderful experience, and it really answered a few of my own questions about my own needs and what I was looking for. I spent 10 years in recruitment in London, And I was a bit burnt out from that experience. I was also struggling with chronic migraine. And so I was looking for something that was really going to be supportive and nurturing to me, as well as doing something that felt like it had a lot of meaning and purpose. And as soon as I, started having the coaching with my coach, I realized that this was the perfect platform for me.
That's how coaching is, Louise. I love it. And I gotta say, I hear your accent. So tell us a little bit about where you're from, and let's do it sort of in a different way. Telling us where you're from, share with us the breakfast of champions that you grew up eating from your home city, your home country. Breakfast of champions. Because typically breakfast is one of those things that's very unique to the culture. So tell us about your breakfast growing up, and what was the typical breakfast of champions.
So do you want to do this so that people actually guess where I'm from?
No, you've already told us you were from London. Right?
Well, I grew up in South Africa.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. I was born in England, grew up in South Africa, and then lived in England for a while before I came to the US. So I'm a bit of a mishmash, but I would say, and I'd be looking at a breakfast of champions. I certainly would know a breakfast of champions for England, which would be a fry-up, big, the bacon and eggs and sausages and HP sauce to go with the sausages and
What's
fried
that?
tomato.
HP sauce? What is that?
HP sauce. It's a bit like, maybe like your A1 steak sauce, maybe.
Okay. Awesome. I'm sorry. That's my background making noise. Let me see if I can shut it up. It's telling me what you had for breakfast again. Okay, so I can't see you over there because I can't shut it up right now. So okay. That sounds interesting. Thank you, Louise, for being here, and welcome. I'm sure after 11 years, you have many, many experiences to share. Let me come over to you, Bernadette, and tell us about how you started your business. You shared it before in a different venue, but I'd love to hear your interesting story of what drove you or guided you, in either case, to become the entrepreneur that you are today.
So this is not my first business, but this is definitely the business that I've loved the most and the one I've stayed with the longest. I've been in business since 2001, so that's 16 years. And I started this business after I did a contract job for a small city in Florida. They had gotten a bad audit and they needed a team to come in and clean it up. So there was me and another accountant who came in and we cleaned it up. I took the accounts payables, he took accounts receivables, and we were going in and like fixing stuff and figuring out what was wrong, and then helping them put processes and systems in place because we were just temporary. So we were just helping them put processes and systems in place so that when the next person came in, they were able to do it without messing it up, because it was pretty bad. And I know most people probably can't read a balance sheet, but let me just say that anytime you see negative numbers on a balance sheet, that is clearly a problem. And there was their accounts payables was negative like $8.5 million or something like that.
Woo!
So yeah, it was a mess.
Woo, and that's a large number.
And a lot of it wasn't anything. Well, I won't say that because I don't think I had the fraud training back then, but I don't think it was fraud. I think it was a lot of it was just a lot of entries. Like there were entries that were entered 10 to 12 times. The same entry was entered.
Wow.
So
Okay.
it was stuff like that. So anyway, after I cleaned that project up, I thought, wow, I didn't get, I got a pat on the back. You did a really good job, but I felt like I should have got a bonus or something, and I didn't. And so I thought, I really want to do something where when I do a really good job, if I work really, really hard, the income that I get as a result of it will kind of match what I did. Because what I got paid for that job, I should have got paid more because it was a mess. And now that's not my story because I get to decide.
Yeah. That's the beauty of entrepreneurship. And for those of you who don't know, Bernadette is a tax accountant and a certified fraud examiner. So we're going to come back to you in just a second with a special question.
Okay.
Just for you, Bernadette. So get ready. But I want to go over to Sean and get you, Sean, to talk a little bit about how you got started in business. Tell us a little bit about what you do too, because along the way, I think I've missed that. So I want to make sure I get it with you.
Sure. Yeah, how I got started was really, I call it my awakening. I was robbed in broad daylight by a man who looked like the dad from Duck Dynasty. True story. I walked into a payday loan. I was broken. We were battling bills, bad credit, and bankruptcy. I was married with a small child and was a couple of $100,000 in debt. And I never forget going in there and the man, and I say robbed in broad daylight. Obviously, I went into there under my own no forces, but I was desperate. And that was really my awakening, because I remember him looking me in the face and saying, "I'll see you again in 2 weeks." And he thought I was in this cycle of coming back and being in this financial dysfunction. So I went outside and I just cried like a baby. And I remember turning on the car and I heard this song by Sounds of Blackness called Be Optimistic.
Yes.
And it literally just pumped me up and got me going. So long story, that was 20 plus years ago. And from there, I said, I got to get myself out of this incredible financial hole. And from my pain, birthed my purpose. So what happened was I just started literally digging and learning everything I could about wealth and wealth accumulation. And before I knew it, I was not only digging myself out of a hole, but I found myself leaning towards that particular industry. So I got my undergraduate degree, my master's degree in finances, and then I got all the certifications. And I look up and I've stepped out of the hospital bed and now have become the teacher, or the doctor, or the physician, if you will. And I help so many people not just get out of debt, but to create wealth. So I'm an investment consultant, and I go around and do investment seminars and teach and coach. And I always say there's 4 pillars to me helping folks. And that's showing them how to make money, but not just make it, but obviously how to multiply it, how to manage it, and then ultimately how to maintain it. So I enjoy doing that for both couples, individuals, and in particular small businesses.
Yeah, that's awesome, Sean. I got to tell you that I want to tell the story of how you and I met. Sean and I met because he was featured in The Keynote, which is a reality TV based, on internet TV based reality show. And I want to make sure I say it right. It's a internet-based reality TV show. Did I get it right that time?
You got it. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. And he was one of the people who Del Toro O'Neill actually brought together. You were one of 7 people? It
was actually 9 of us. And it was, as you mentioned, a reality show. I didn't mean to take the baton from you, but it's based on the number 1 fear in America, which is public speaking. So I, as well as 8 others, got an opportunity to go into a mansion in Florida and do a host of things that dealt with public speaking. So that's where I'll let you turn it back over to you. That's where we met, in your backyard, but go for it.
Yeah. And what most people don't know, now that you've shared that, I love that you jumped in there, because I would not have done it. That's just like that. But, one of the things that I want people to know is you were actually the winner of this competition-based show. Oh. So I think that's really cool. It's really exciting. And as I watched every episode, I kind of saw you edging out everybody else, because, I was an observer. I got to see who was doing this well and who was doing that well. And you were, to me, clearly starting to edge everyone out.
Oh,
and we had an occasion to meet in Atlanta, like you're in Dallas, but we had an occasion to meet at another event in Atlanta. And tell everybody what I said when I walked up to you.
Oh, my
we
God.
had kind of met on Blab.
Right.
Messages.
Well,
but tell everybody what.
I'm gonna repeat this too at your conference, but what you said was obviously we were both elated to finally meet each other face to face. We've been knowing each other over social media, but then she kindly and so appropriately and with such grace said, "Oh, I didn't realize you were so short." Now keep in mind, I'm about 5'10", 5'11", but for whatever reason, she thought I was 6'5", 6'6". but I appreciate it. So I guess I carry myself well with tall stature. But no, I'm only 5'10", brother, but she really makes me taller than that when we first met. But
well, and we laugh about it, Sean. We laugh about it because I literally walked up to him, and I'm 5'9", but I had on like 2.5-inch, 3-inch heels when I met him. So when I walked over to him, I was literally looking down at him. And it wasn't nice for me to say that, but I'm glad you had the sense of humor to just appreciate it, and we continue to laugh about it. So, I love that about you. I want to come back to you, Bernadette. I told you I had a special question that I cooked up just for you. Just for you. Oprah just decided she was going to, she bought the rights to your entrepreneurial story. And I'd like to know, first of all, who she cast to play you. Okay. And second of all, what's the theme? Like usually when there's a movie, there's this underlying theme or plot story that's kind of going on. So who does she cast to play you? And what's that theme that's underlying your entrepreneurial journey story?
Wow. Okay. So in line with what you just said to Sean about the height thing, right? Mm-hmm. I would love for it to be Angela Bassett, but I just think she's just a little bit too short.
But I'm telling you, she may be short, but she's like,
yeah, but so I love her energy and all of that. Sean, I too am 5'10". So I'm thinking like, I like Angela Bassett, but I also like Sanaya Lathan. So
she's getting a lot of work these days.
Yeah, so it would be a toss-up between the two of them. I think maybe if they could do something with the cameras to make Angela Bassett look a little bit taller, probably.
But they don't know how tall you are, so it wouldn't,
Yeah, well, I think they might. They might.
It's kind of like what they usually do with people like Tom Cruise, who's like 5'6", 5'7". They always shoot at an angle so he looks really tall compared to everyone else in the scene. So
like Vince Vaughn is extremely tall. And have you ever noticed that when he's playing next to another woman who's obviously nowhere near as tall as him, they never show the height, the difference.
Who is that?
Vince Vaughn, he's like 6'7" or something like that.
Yeah, he's real tall.
He's really, really tall. So maybe Angela Bassett, and I think it would probably the tone would probably be something more like a Scandal without the scandal, like the person that Kerry Washington was in maybe the first season of Scandal, where she was handling stuff, getting stuff done, not the whole sleeping with other people's husbands and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that I'm glad you clarified that we're talking the first season, because when you said that, I went, oh no, not.
No. I stopped watching it after the first season. Yeah. But yeah, more of someone. Okay, no, I take it. Have you ever seen a show? It comes on BBC. It doesn't come on anymore, but Luther and Idris Elba.
Oh, with Idris, yeah.
Yes, that's the tone. Like Idris Elba, the female version.
Taking names.
Yeah, the female version. He just kind of took care of stuff. He was really cool about it. He got stuff done. So yeah, I think that would be like
I love it. What about you, Louise? I want to ask you the same question. Oprah just bought the rights to produce a show about your entrepreneurial journey. You told us a little bit about it, but tell us, like, who would she cast to play you?
The person that comes to mind immediately is Reese Witherspoon.
Oh, I like her.
I do too. She's got a new movie coming out too.
Yeah, she has. Yeah.
And I can also see the resemblance. Like I can see a little bit of the resemblance.
I've had a couple of people say that to me, and I actually love her. I think she's fabulous. She's such a fun woman, and she's very adventurous as well. She does a lot of interesting things. I don't know if you saw that recent one she did with Nicole Kidman, and I thought that was fantastic. And that was
it wasn't Pretty Little Liars. It was
something like that, wasn't it?
Something.
I can't remember the name. Similar to that.
I don't remember either.
Yeah. I always got mixed up with that name. But yeah, she's just awesome. So That would be fun.
That's a good one. And you know, Sean, I got to ask you the same question.
Well, yeah, well, I've never been asked that question, and it's a lovely fantasy. So I don't know. I mean, look, I grew up with Denzel. Who would not? What man would not want Denzel to play him?
Okay.
So yes, absolutely. That's my guy. I'm not a big movie watcher anymore. I know one of the guys that is out here is real big is the gentleman that plays on Power. And I understand he's
Omari Hardwick. He's from Georgia. He's from Atlanta.
Okay. So, you know, obviously, you know, just because he's on the scene right now. But look, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's Will Smith. I don't care if it's Don Cheadle. The bottom line is you just said Oprah bought the rights to my life. She can have anybody she wants.
Yeah.
Because bottom line is you tell me about my life, and I can't see it being anything but a success.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. You told us a little bit of your backstory is and how you got started, and I love the reference to the Carrington-like guy who actually almost practically robbed you in broad daylight. What would be the thing that you would want people to most know and understand about your entrepreneurial journey? Not from your biopic, but just in general, what's the lesson you'd like for people to learn from your entrepreneurial journey?
I think the lesson I would say is that we all, first of all, have been given a story, a purpose, and an assignment, and we have to just trust the process. You know, to me, my entrepreneurial story is just that. It's the process of getting to where I am. Not that it's finished by no means, but I would like to tell folks that regardless of where you start, you can certainly finish where your heart desires and where you know you're supposed to be. So, I mean, for me, it would take too long to tell my full story, as everybody on this broadcast probably can attest to. But the bottom line is that you just have to. Here's another thing, too, I would tell people. Trust the voice that was inside you back when you were a child, back when you were a teenager, back when you were just starting off. Because I literally now can step back and look at remnants of where I am right now, that this was always supposed to be my destination. I just didn't understand it back then. So I tell my children, my daughters, they're both young ladies, that the things that they're going through right now are hints to where they'll be in the future. So just trust them. Yeah. So that's what I would tell folks.
What a great thought, Sean. And I've seen your videos with your daughter, and she said she's straight on some stuff too. I love it.
You know, that's right.
I love it. So Bernadette, I want to come back over to you, and I want to ask you, what's the most fun you've had working with a client? Like something that when other people look at it, they would say, yeah, that does sound like fun. What's the most fun you've had working with a client?
Ooh,
I know, I just love these questions, don't you?
Okay.
There's no way.
Here's where you stumped me. Here's where you stumped me. When you said the part about where other people will think that it's fun.
Yeah. That's exactly why I asked the question the way that I did, because I know you're sort of a numbers person.
My work is probably not considered fun. And I'll take that back. When I'm training, that's fun. And so the most fun that I've had with clients is usually when I've done QuickBooks trainings, where it's a client. Like I remember one time I was training a client who was not that computer savvy. I won't say literate, because he was computer literate, but he just wasn't extremely computer savvy. He's a truck driver, and just all of the things that you would think is the opposite of someone having a business, keeping their books and all this other stuff, or wanting to. And so it was kind of fun going through the training with him, because there were moments during the training where he would say, well, why I got to do that? Why, kind of stuff. So that was, I think the fun part of it was just because it was so comical. It was just
his reactions to everything.
Yeah, his reactions to certain stuff. And by the end of the training, I did not choke him out, and he didn't choke me out either. So we survived, and I laughed a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure he made it fun because you were at such different places and spaces around what he really needed, and you know, I'm sure he made
That's
it
kind of
fun.
what I do. I try to make it I try to take the intimidation out of the process when I'm explaining this kind of stuff to people. And so he was a challenge in that he didn't come from, most of my clients are professionals, service providers, coaches, and speakers, and things like that. And so now we go all the way to the other spectrum of a blue collar truck driver kind of guy.
Yeah.
And he had all the characteristics of a truck driver.
He was a stereotypical truck driver.
Yes,
He made it fun for
everything that you are currently visualizing. Yes, that's all.
I'm just glad you didn't say plumber, because that has a whole different visual when you say plumber.
Yeah, plumber.
Truck driver, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah. Louise, let me ask you, what about the most fun you had with a client? What made it the most fun experience? And think of it in terms of something we might not necessarily expect in terms of it being fun. And I know with coaching, you have to, maintain some level of confidentiality. So definitely don't name names, but, share with us an experience that you thought was so fun at the end of the encounter. It was so fun. I'm going to let you think about it, and I'll tell you guys a little bit about my fun story.
Okay.
And it wasn't entirely a fun story. Let me just say that. But I was referred to someone, a professional woman who worked with a municipal agency, and I'll leave it at that. And she was pretty high up. Like, she reported to the head person over that agency in the Atlanta marketplace. And she and I talked, and she decided she wanted to hire me. And she did. And we had our first coaching session. And I thought it went interestingly in a different way. It wasn't like a smooth sailing kind of, we clicked, the chemistry was just there. And she was right on point with, her desire to dig in. But when we got to the actual coaching sessions, that was the very first one. But when we got into future coaching sessions, I almost envisioned her taking off her earrings and greasing down her face so that we could fight. And I just thought, oh my gosh, she's hired me to coach her, but she is so resistant to this process. And I remember seeing a preview of Iyanla Fix My Life a couple of days ago. And one of the clips in the preview, she said, I am not going to fight you to help you. That's kind of how I felt with this lady. We eventually ended up parting ways, and I guess she went and greased down and took her earrings out with somebody else. But I was like, this is not what I do in terms of coaching. And I laugh about it today because that's some serious resistance.
Yeah.
Serious resistance. The energy of I'm taking my earrings off to fight you and greasing down to fight you is like, oh my gosh. Remember, we just had the fight, this past weekend, and we could greasing McGregor down because, all of those punches were landing in a place that he was red and almost bloody sometimes in those shots that he was taking from Mayweather. So, Louise, tell us about your fun client story.
Now it's kind of like, ooh, which one do I pick? You've got my
we all have many, for sure.
Was that?
We all have many funny stories, for sure.
Well, I would say there was one. I'll tell you about a client that I found very difficult, but it was kind of funny. And I'll tell you about a client that was amazing, and it was an awesome experience. So the client was a guy. And I was an external coach for Peak Potentials at the time. I was a Success Tracks coach. So I was just getting sent clients just willy-nilly, whoever, wanted to have a coach. I didn't actually pick him as such. And this guy was a man of few words. Very few words. And it got to the point where I would think he was actually testing me. Like, I'd ask him a question and I'd get like a syllable back and then like this long silence. And I'd be like, hello? Okay. So So that really tested me as a coach. But I recognize, it was actually a really great lesson, because it made me realize that everyone's different, and people have different ways of operating and different personalities. And, I can be strong in my own power as a coach and as a person, and be okay with whatever shows up in the room, so it was an interesting learning curve for me as a much younger coach. The other story I wanted to share was a client I had very early on, one of my first clients, in fact, and I wasn't doing so much. Well, actually, I was coaching her around her business. She was a coach, but I was also doing a little bit of life coaching with her too, which I don't do as much now, but I do very much adhere to the law of attraction, and what you put out there is, how the universe will respond and all of that kind of stuff. And, if you ask, you will receive, all of that type of I think there's a lot of validity to that. And so this coach I was working with was ready for a relationship. She'd been in 2 very difficult relationships in the past, and she was very level-headedly ready to step into a relationship. And she wanted to find the perfect guy, someone who was spiritual like her, someone who was interested in holistic healing like she was, someone who wanted kids, had all the values and qualities that she wanted. And
I was going to say, she had a long list.
She had a very long list.
That's a long list.
So in fact, she needed a little nudge at first to sign up for Match.com or whatever it was. And I gave her that strong nudge. And we decided to write a shopping list of all the qualities that she wanted in this person.
Okay.
I mean, we literally had a shopping list as long as our arm. It was like, let's get really specific. What he looks like,
shaking her head like,
what he thinks like,
really?
What he wants, how he would treat her, all of those things. And blow me down if it wasn't the second guy she met.
Wow.
That she is now married to and has a baby with, and is living happily ever after.
Wow.
Yeah, that's phenomenal, because that kind of stuff does not always happen. Like, I believe in coaching and I believe in the power of manifestation.
Yes.
But relationships and humanity sometimes make those things a little bit more challenging, especially when there's such a long list. So I applaud you for staying the course with her and working through that list.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about Play Bigger Now. And I want to go to a screen share to tell people about Play Bigger Now. And when we come back, I want you guys to talk about, each of you, to talk about what you're really looking forward to as part of Play Bigger Now. Sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, everyone. Thank you guys for being so patient with us. I love being able to extend the invitation to you to join us for Play Bigger Now 2017. It is an income acceleration conference, and you see the faces here. Bernadette is there, Louise is there, you can see Sean there, and you can also see me there as part of Play Bigger Now 2017. It is a sales and marketing conference for coaches and speakers and trainers, consultants, emerging thought leaders, CEOs, and entrepreneurial leaders. It's about learning, growing, and implementing in your sales activation. You're going to learn about strategy and scripting from me. You're going to learn about crafting your offer and selling. You're going to learn about scalable systems and solutions. That's from Bernadette. And you're going to discover how to get known in the media. And there's so much more that's part of Play Bigger Now. It is what I'm calling an income acceleration conference. Of course, I'm the income acceleration mentor. So I want to make sure that I'm sharing with you ways that you can accelerate your income through visibility, through mindset, through sales activation. It's designed to train you on conversion and connect you with like-minded people who are also there to learn and grow and implement and activate as well. It's Friday, October 20th, 21st, and 22nd, and we're going to be there for 2.5 days. Your guest registration includes all of the live training, the networking and connecting, the fun, the laughter, the experience of learning, the exclusive digital swag bag, Your guest experience is valued at more than $8,000. Let me tell you about that swag bag. It includes business boosting masterclass content by powerhouse experts like Louise and Bernadette and so many others. You're going to have conversational audios because along the way, over the past 2 years in particular, I've invited people that I've observed in the marketplace who are doing some really amazing things. And I invited them to come and have a conversation with me. They let me record it. And I'm going to be sharing that as part of the swag bag. You also get to build your professional reference library with this amazing exclusive digital swag bag. The swag bag alone is valued at more than $5,000. Now, there's also opportunities for you to get involved in implementation. I say opportunities, but the whole conference is like one big seminar, one big workshop. Roll your sleeves up, bring your laptop. Let's get some things done while you're there. It's not a vacation kind of conference. Yes, you're going to be motivated and inspired, but it really is about helping you to learn. It is my 15th anniversary in business, so we're going to be doing an award ceremony and banquet, a musical tribute and celebration. We're going to do a little dancing and get gussied up. A pajama jam where you get to come into my suite and kind of pick my brain a little bit. I love being able to share my knowledge and my experience with you. A gratitude breakfast because I want you to know how much I appreciate you for coming out. I just added masterminding and group coaching to the experience as well. Your guest experience is valued at more than $8,000. I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting excited.
Yeah.
Your VIP registration includes everything I just talked about, plus VIP lunches on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Sean is going to be there talking about wealth on Saturday. Interactive keynote presentations, that's how Sean delivers, and that's how the other two speakers will also be delivering for that. There's a private VIP reception on Friday, and you get the exclusive digital swag bag, plus some special VIP goodies and special surprises that are part of your VIP digital swag bag. Your VIP experience is valued at more than $15,000. That's a lot of content, you guys. Your VIP ticket also includes 2 high-end coaching funnels provided by ClickFunnels, one of our sponsors, a video production strategy session for you as a VIP registrant provided by bizlinks.tv, one of our media partners, and a sales activation Q&A session with me. I just threw that in there. The VIP experience is valued at more than $15,000. They're raving fans, people that I've been working with for a long time. Latar V. Bussey said she was able to engage her clients and resulting in 3 new coaching clients valued at $4,500, triple the investment she made to pay to work with me. I believe in helping my clients double, triple, quadruple, and quintuple their income. That's no joke. I really do that. I have a gift at it. I'm a beast. Kathy Wojcik participated in my recent video challenge, and she said, I share my knowledge. Wait a minute. Let me slow down. I'm knowledgeable and I share my information freely. I give a lot of encouragement and support, and she truly recommends working with me if you're looking to improve your reach. I'm always looking at ways to create visibility for myself and for my clients, and I readily share that knowledge and information with you. Kristen Byrice is also one of our digital presenters. I coach Kristen. We're longtime colleagues, friends, and coaching partners, and she was able to generate more paying clients in 4 months than the previous 6 months because we were working together and I was guiding her through some of the tweaks that make the difference. So here's what I want you to know. I'm having a flash sale that started today and goes through Monday, September 1st at 4th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. That's Labor Day, Monday. General guest registration, I'm moving too fast. General guest registration is $197. Wow. $197. Regularly it's $697, but that gives you 4 days to make your registration count and get the benefit of all of these goodies. VIP registration is $397, regularly $997. 4 days to get that. Go to playbiggernow2017.com. You don't need a coupon code. You don't need anything. The flash sale is in effect for now, between now and Monday, September 4th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. What do you guys think about all of this good stuff?
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. Can you believe I'm doing this?
Good stuff.
It's
Yeah,
a
can you
no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a no-brainer, right? That's what I think.
Mhm.
That's right.
That is amazing what you've got on offer there,
Yeah.
Wendy Y.
Thank you so much, Louise, and everyone.
And what a great price for it all. My God, people need to take action right now.
Yeah, without question. What are you most looking forward to as part of Play Bigger Now? Let's start with you, Louise. What are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to connecting. It's connecting with the people that are going to be there. I'm not going to be there physically myself, but I know that, and I'm really bummed about that now, seeing as, you know, how crazy amazing it looks. And I can
It's
see.
not too late if you want to talk about it. We can make some arrangements.
I can see Sean's beautiful smile. I'd like to meet him in person.
Yes. Yeah, and he's like that all the time. The smile you see is pretty much how I see Sean.
Well, I try to keep it. So much.
Yeah, but I'm really excited about connecting with my fellow presenters. You know, I think there's an opportunity for joint venturing with people in the event, and I'm really excited about that. There's some fantastic knowledge I think that people are bringing to the event as well, and how wonderful that we can tap into that. When we are connected with one another. So I'm excited about that.
Yes,
a visitor.
Hey,
Photo bomb by the kitty cat.
Yeah, Kitty's like, hey, I want to get on camera.
He's my manager. He's my business manager.
Yes, I love it. Sean, tell us what you're looking forward to related to Play Bigger Now.
Well, like Louise says, I'm looking forward to the camaraderie, the connection, the synergy. You know, the old statement is iron sharpens iron, but it only can sharpen it if it's around other iron. So that's why I encourage everyone that's listening, you have to be there. You know, I teach, I have what they call, I have a program called the Wealth Shift Project program, where I help people shift their wealth. And I always tell people, you don't have a money problem. Matter of fact, no one has a money problem. And that's why I would tell anybody, if they're looking at it saying, it's this amount or that amount, it's not the money issue. You have other things. And I always teach 7 things that you need to leverage. And I guarantee you, all of these will be taught there. Things like your mindset, Wendy Y, you've already mentioned it, your mission, your motivation, your mentors, the marketplace, all these things that you have to make sure that you're leveraging, and the money will shift. And we're going to talk about that at the VIP luncheon, but you will learn that at the entire conference with all of these incredible presenters. So I'm looking forward to the connections, the learning from each other. I may even bring my pajamas and sit down.
Enjoying that pajama jam.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. I'm looking forward to it. And anybody, I would encourage you, if you're on the fence right now, get off the fence, go ahead, sign up and get there as soon as you can.
Awesome. Thanks, Sean. And Bernadette, last but certainly not least, what are you most excited about related to Play Bigger Now? What are you looking forward to?
So echoing everything that my fellow presenters have already said, one of the things about entrepreneurship, especially if you're a solopreneur, is you kind of work alone. It can get lonely. And so it's really important for you to come together with other like-minded entrepreneurs to do, like Sean said, the iron sharpening iron. The other thing is I'm really looking forward to sharing with the group that's coming, because everybody says that, they want more clients. They want their client base to double, but most people aren't ready for it. And so I'm looking forward to being able to share with people how to get ready for all of this increase that's going to happen as a result of attending Play Bigger Now, is scaling your systems and making sure that you have the systems in place. Because wouldn't it be a shame if you did everything that you learned at Play Bigger Now and you didn't have the systems in place?
Wow. Yeah.
and you miss out on those opportunities. So I'm really looking forward to that. Listen, if you, like Sean said, if you're on the fence, you really need to get off the fence. Like this flash sale, I'm looking at Wendy. I'm Wendy's accountant, so we're going to have a conversation after this and about this flash sale because she didn't tell me about it. So I know it's too late to rescind this offer. So you need to go ahead and take advantage of it before I do not allow her to extend this offer ever again, because this is ridiculously low. It's like a no brainer. If you don't finish on this, you just, I don't know. Like,
Totally.
Yeah. I'm laughing, Bernadette, because I was like, when I said I was going to do this, I was like, I'll just have to apologize later. I just got to do this because, you know, this is what I felt called to do for this weekend in particular, the next 5 days in particular. And I said, I'll just have to apologize later. So I'm glad that you're giving me permission for now.
Yeah, it's too late to rescind it. So
that's right.
Guys, got
you
it.
guys know, I see her shaking her finger at me like right now.
No backsies now.
We're going to have a conversation after this.
Awesome.
Wendy,
remember, everyone, this flash sale is for you when you register before Monday, September 4th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern. Your guest registration is $197. Your VIP registration is $397. Come on out to Play Bigger Now 2017, and I will see you guys there. I loved having you guys on the show. I appreciate you taking time out to share your stories about your journey, to talk about life, business, and fun. Thanks you guys so much for being here. I really appreciate you.
Thanks so much, Wendy. Wow, it's great to be here. Great to meet all of you as well.
Awesome. Good night, everybody.